It feels weird to complain about anything when we're sitting with $1,230,000,000. But this situation right here in Mullingar is just not good enough. There are so many of my vehicles getting stuck in traffic. My trains are tailing back for miles, and I just think it's time that we do something about this. Now, I do want to mention, I'm going to try and have this episode be all about this little project in Mullingar. We talked about this in the last episode, this sort of renewal thing, this rebuild of the train station. So this episode might be a little bit shorter than the hour-plus episodes we've had lately. But let me know if this is kind of more your speed, focusing on a single thing as an episode and then moving on to another thing in the next, or if we sort of just meander the way we have for the last little while. Let me know in the comments below what you think. And with that all said and done, let's head over to the west side of Mullingar, which is over here, and build a new train bypass for the town. Now, first things first, we are going to be keeping the game paused for a lot of this construction because we are going to be, well, bulldozing just a lot of things while we do this. So all of these little road connections down here can go. This road connection here can go. And I'm wanting to go in here and upgrade a lot of this to have more lanes, which is going to mean that we're moving a lot of buildings. We're removing a lot of buildings as well. But this is going to allow traffic into Mullingar from the west just that little bit better. I also want to bring this road straight out to about here. And I'm going to bring this guy straight over to about here, and then we'll curve them around, and that'll be our connection to Mullingar itself. While the rest of this, which I guess takes us over towards Castle Bar, well, it's already got 4 lanes this way, so why don't we come in and take out a good chunk of this road as well? And then maybe we can get some kind of bend on this that's gonna just sort of work for us. So if I bring this over, out, and around, that looks totally fine. I'm completely okay with that. And then this connection down here, I think we can tidy it up just a little bit as well. So we'll go ahead and upgrade this. Actually, no, we'll keep it as a small country road. We'll just bring this sort of straight out to here. We'll bring this guy sort of straight out to, I want to say about here. And we can go ahead and just curve that around. And that is, again, just a little bit of a neater connection for Castle Bar to Mullingar, but that's obviously not the focus of what we're doing here today. So what I'm thinking is I want a train line that goes straight across here, basically just where I built all of this mess that we have going on. So for now, I'm going to accept the fact that we are going to have another level crossing. I don't love the idea of having another level crossing, but we're going to have another level crossing in here just because it's going to make my life a little bit easier for the time being. So we'll bring this over to here and that'll be totally fine. This road doesn't look too bad with a level crossing on it. So again, I'm completely fine with that. Although you need to go away just a little bit. And then very simply, I want to bring this over in as much of a straight line as I can manage to, I'm going to say about here, and we'll go ahead and confirm that. It's not going to be parallel because it's going through roads and I had that option turned off, but that's completely fine as well. We'll bring it to about there. And this is going to link up with this existing track that we have over this way. We can do that in a little bit though, because I think the first thing I'd like to do is continue this whole stretch of track back here to come all the way down and link up with what we're doing down here on the west side of Mullingar. So to make that a little bit easier, I am just going to go in and disconnect the existing tracks, which the game is going to complain about a little bit. The game's going to be doing a lot of complaining today. I can promise you that's going to be, that's kind of the main reason that I'm keeping things paused as much as I possibly can. Now, what we'll do is bring this track straight through to about there. And again, I had parallel tracks turned off. I probably should have had it on for this little section, but that's okay. We're going to bring it through to about here. And unfortunately, if this track continues in a straight line, it is going to hit the back of this factory. So what we'll do is turn on parallel tracks. We'll do a little segment of track right about here, and we'll bring that around to what we've built over this way. Now, that does mean the trains will slow down a little bit, but that's fine. We can bring this guy over to here, which maintains its speed pretty nicely. And we'll do the same thing with this guy. We'll bring it over to about there. And yeah, we're going to need to tidy up this road. So very quickly, let me go in here and bring out just a few little segments right there. We can curve from here to there, and that looks better. We'll go from here to there. That looks better. And a little bit of smoothing is probably going to help us out as well. And with that connection made, we can come back over this way and essentially connect this side of things down towards Limerick. Once this is done, we can reconnect the train line to Mullingar as well, and we should be pretty good to go with most of what I'm trying to do here. Now, I am going to go in and take out this signal, actually, before we get too crazy here, because I need to be very careful with where this all connects together. Now, I can go to about here, which I think is going to be fine. That is relatively quick through there, so I'm kind of willing to let that be a thing. We'll do the same thing just in here, going to about where are we going to? About this spot, I think, is where we're going, and that looks about as good as it's going to look. I think we'll smooth this out as well, just to help us, you know, maintain appearances a little bit. And I guess we want to go over and reconnect the existing cargo line, or the existing section of line that's used more often. This line right here, we're connecting to everything else. So we'll bring this through. We want to bring it up to about here, and that should be totally fine. And we want to do the same thing with the other side as well. And once we do this, the game is pretty much going to let me go ahead and get this all up and going again. If we have a look at our lines, we do have some that go onto the new bypass, which is going to be good. But I would like to sort of redo my signals before we get this all running. So we'll go into signals. We'll do one right about here, and that'll be fine. We can do one right about there, and that should be fine as well. This one can be moved forward just a little bit so that it's just a little bit closer to that road. This one in the middle here can just go away. And then we kind of need to do similar in this space. So a signal right here. A signal here might be tricky, to be totally honest, because that might not be enough space for a whole train to sit, which would have me slightly concerned. But I'm thinking we're gonna take that chance. We'll also do auto signals from now on, just to sort of fill out that entire space. And we'll also, I guess, do a signal here. We'll do a signal here, and we'll go all the way back and do, let's see, we have a signal right there, which is where we want one. We want one in here as well. We have one on that side already. And so I guess auto signals again, and we'll do here, going the entire way back towards Limerick. I just want to make sure that we're not stopping trains on the wrong sides of the roads, which it doesn't look like we are. So in theory, and this is very big in theory, but in theory, we should be okay with this. I think if I add a signal right here, that might be a pretty good idea. But we should be able to see all of my trains start moving across this new bypass, meaning that this entire section of track up here can now be deleted, which is sort of phase one of this entire thing. There's going to be a lot of phases to this rebuild, but this is phase one. Now, with all of that deleted, we are going to need a new train depot. So I figure we can sort of come into some space over this way, and maybe, well, what about right here? We have this this coal mine that we're potentially never going to be using. So let's do some kind of train depot right in here. I think this is kind of the perfect spot for it, especially since the other train depot was next to some kind of facility. So this can go right about here, and very, very simply, we can just bring some tracks off of this thing. So straight out of here, we can go straight over to about there. And that's probably all we're gonna need, because most of the trains are probably going to be going back and forth. But I guess just to be safe, we should probably do a little something like this just to make sure that they can get to whichever side they need to go to. It's not the neatest looking thing, but I can hide some crimes with some trees in just a little bit. But for now, I think that's okay. For now, I think that works. I also maybe want to have some crossovers in here just in case we have some trains going back to the depot. That's a little something we can have happen. And I guess we sort of do the same thing here again, just in case there's any trains ever going back to that depot. So the next step of this entire rebuild is going to involve me going in here and bulldozing everything on this side of the train station, because I need to expand the station, and I need to expand the station by quite a bit because we need to put a new cargo platform in here, and we also want to get more tracks, and we want to redo the cargo buildings. So if we go in to configure this guy, I basically want to get rid of every single one of the cargo buildings that we have right here, which, I mean, all of this is going to mess up my lines for a little bit, but that's completely fine. So those all go away. We can then go in with some new sections of, no, we can't. We can't go in with some new sections of track because I need to get rid not only of everything I deleted, but I need to get rid of this guy as well. Because what we've done there is we've put we've put tracks on the other side of a passenger platform. What I need to do is get myself a cargo platform just in here, a little something like this. We then need to do some more tracks, a little something like this, and then another cargo platform so that I can have more cargo trains going in both directions rather than the trains having to stop on one specific side of the station. So basically, we want to go out and bulldoze this entire section of track, which is going to be a whole thing to do, but we'll take it right back to about there. We can do the same thing over on this side as well. This road's going to have to go at some point as well, but just for now, we're bulldozing pretty much everything, really, is what we're doing. We're bulldozing just about everything. But what I can do is go in, configure this guy. We can do our 2 bits. Oh, I don't want the low speed ones. I want the high speed tracks in here. Not that Ireland has high speed train tracks, just by the way. I would love it if it did. I really would. I've been to a bunch of countries that have great train infrastructure. Sweden comes to mind. I don't know what, like, people that live in Sweden think of their trains, but as someone from Northern Ireland that has experienced trains here and across the entire UK, I can tell you, your trains are pretty great. I love them. They're just like, honestly, just Swedish public transport in general is really good. Again, I don't know what the general opinion is, but I've always really enjoyed it. I've always had a really good time with Swedish public transport. So again, the comparison to what I'm used to at home, it's kind of maybe where that love of public transport in Sweden comes from, but it can be rough here. It's not amazing. Anyway, let me go ahead and just take, you know what, actually, while I'm doing this, I am going to talk more about it. I was gonna not ramble, but I realized rambling's kind of my thing. So yeah, that's what we're doing. My my whole thing with public transport in general is like, how easy is it? And all of my comparisons here are going to be to Sweden. I've been there a lot. So basically what I've noticed is like, and this is like, it's not that this is a novelty thing. Like, I know using an app to book your train tickets is relatively common almost everywhere, but the thing with an app to book train tickets is it's kind of a thing where I'm from. It's kind of a thing in Northern Ireland, but it's also kind of not, in the sense that, wait, can I do some tracks in the middle here? I'm kind of wanting to see if I can, like, if I did this and then I did this, can I get like a track in the middle? Yeah, that's not really what I wanted. Well, that's fine. We'll figure this out. Yeah, so using an app to book your train tickets in Northern Ireland, it's doable, it's possible, it's a thing. It's just not a very good thing. Like, the app that we have for our public transport is not amazing. It doesn't work a lot of the time, and it's okay. It's gotten better in the last couple of years, but like, the one thing I noticed traveling all over Europe was like, hey, there's this app does everything in different countries, or in the case of Sweden, like booking a ticket for a train and being assigned a seat number, like that doesn't sound like a big deal. And I know in a lot of places it isn't, but again, where I'm from, that's kind of a big deal. Like that's not a thing that really, you know, we really do here. You book your train ticket, you're lucky to get a seat at all at certain times of the day. So, you know, that's a whole thing. A whole frustrating thing. You book your train ticket, you're lucky that the train, you're lucky that the train's even remotely pleasant to be on. Never mind the idea of being assigned a seat or not assigned a seat, or first class or no first class. Like, I remember the first time I was booking a train ticket somewhere in Europe, and when I'm booking the ticket, it's like, would you like food while you're on the train? And I saw that and I'm like, wait, I can order a meal like I would for a plane. Like I can have a meal just brought to me at some point. And yeah, you totally can. Again, not a thing. And I don't know of any train line in the UK that necessarily does that. Like even the longer, and I say longer in very big quotation marks, because comparatively to like some of the train trips I've taken in Europe, the train from like Belfast to Dublin is not that long, but even that doesn't have like food, you know, that even that train is like, yeah, you know, bring your own. Don't get it everywhere, but bring your own food. We're not serving you a thing. You'll be lucky if you even get a chair on this one. So it's, I don't know where I'm going with this ramble. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not quite sure where this is going, but yeah. I've also realized I've made a dire mistake here, because what I need to do is have these tracks really close together, not really far apart. So I'm going to have to take out this entire section that I just built, because I need these to be, I want one level crossing. We are going to have a level crossing in here. I want one level crossing. I'm not interested in several. So let's go to about here. And this will be where this track can sort of come around to. This is going to have to sort of snake across, but that'll be fine. Once the game's done auto-saving, of course, we can actually, you know, put this into effect. But essentially this is kind of how that's going to work. And over here is where this new major road is going to be going to get people out of Mullingar. I don't love the look of this. I'm going to be honest. I'm not a huge fan of how that looks. And I am kind of wondering, can I make it look just a little bit better? I would be moving, and I am going to be moving this. That's a long distance for vehicles to go, but I think that's going to be for the best. I do. I think having the road connection out here is going to be for the best. I think having a bit more space for the trains is going to be for the best. And that kind of means over here, we need to do something similar. I need to bring this back, and I need these train lines to be parallel pretty much like here is where I'm thinking. And then it can just sort of snake up like this. It's going to be a little bit slower, but that's okay. And then over this way, I want to say we can go a little bit further. I'm kind of thinking to about here should be fine. And then we'll bring this over again, a little bit slower, but not the end of the world. This guy is going to go to about there, which is perfect. And on the other side, we want to do pretty much the same thing. So you are going to go into about that spot. You are going to go into about the same spot on the other side. And that now gives us our train connections, which is perfectly fine. On this side of things, we can reconnect the road that we have gotten rid of, which sinks down a little bit. Can I get a bridge in there? Yeah, kinda. It's not really the kind of bridge I'd be looking for, to be honest with you. So maybe we'll bring back a whole bunch of this road. Maybe we bring you back a little bit as well. And maybe we just smooth this out and see what we can get away with in terms of getting a road in here. Because we do still need, as much as I'm trying to minimize them, we do still need some level crossings in and around here. So that seems fine. I would like to just, I would like some of these roads to not look as terrible as they do. Like this part here, I'm kind of hoping we can redo. Does that look better? That looks much better. We will have to smooth out the terrain in a lot of spaces, but that looks a lot better. All right, so we have all of our road connections on this side. The level crossings are in, and I've extended this avenue just a little bit, but that doesn't solve the problems on this other side of Mullingar. So what we're gonna do is actually go in here and downgrade this road to something a little bit smaller, because I'm realizing this was never quite a main road. In fact, I think what we can do, since I made that weird curve, is kind of just restore it to something a bit like this. It's just a regular old road at this point, which is completely fine by me. I do want to take out this section of road though, because I want to try and just turn this avenue into something that follows the tracks. It comes down to sort of here-ish, and this is where we're going to try and do our level crossing. So what we'll do is flatten the terrain to the height of the train tracks. And then what I can do, I can have this road, if I want to, run parallel to the tracks. That is a thing we can do here, which I'm very tempted to do, simply because I think it would look kind of cool. I just don't know how effective it's going to be in terms of actually being a level crossing. That's my worry. So it looks like it's something that I actually can do, which is really surprising. I wasn't expecting the game to kind of let me do this, but I'm gonna try my best. Can I connect those bits together? No, that's unfortunate. We'll bring this guy out though, and I kind of want to take it up to the track. You know, I kind of want it to follow the train tracks to about this spot. I'd like this to sort of S-bend over to there. Well, do I want it to do that? Do I really want it to do that? Maybe I don't. Maybe I'm getting a little bit carried away with tools in the game that I'm not all that familiar with. I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's keep it simple. Let's just do a regular old level crossing right about here. We'll go about 65 meters, and then somehow I need to connect down to that, which we can figure out. I think what we can do, since this road isn't used, we'll take it out. This entire sort of neighborhood is going to have to go. And then this road is going to come down straight through all of this, just so I have it nice and, well, nice and straight. We'll actually put that little bit back in, take all of this out, and that should end up giving us a pretty level, little incline towards the train tracks, which is fine. So we can smooth this out, since that's where the level crossing is going to be. The thing we want to try and avoid, though, is having intersections super close to the level crossing. That was kind of the problem we had before. So I'm going to put an intersection kind of in the middle of this road, which looks like, and this might actually work out really, really nicely. Can I get you to just sort of come around here? Is that a thing we can do? It kind of is. I'm wondering if I took out this bit, and if I was to just go in and maybe make this road a little bit shorter, is that going to work just a little bit better? And by the looks of it, it totally is. I'm okay with that. I'm very, very much okay with that. And then what I can do is put some road connections back through here. So this guy can continue straight up to there. This little road can sort of continue straight up to, say, there. And that's okay. In fact, this road, I mean, I'm bulldozing so much of this town already. I might as well get rid of this one. We're going to redo. We're going to sort of realign it here so that it has a bit more of a, I mean, there's just a nice crossing there, essentially, is what I'm looking for. I just want something relatively simple, and that kind of works. Now, this is a major road that connects Mullingar to Kilkenny and then sort of continues straight out the other side. Do I want to rebuild this road is the question that I have. And part of me does, part of me doesn't. I think since we're doing this, it kind of makes sense that we do rebuild this road though. Okay, so with that road rebuilt and with this level crossing in here, we now need to connect this level crossing to this roundabout over this way. And this is going to slow down a lot of my production, to be completely honest. I'm sort of okay with that because I think ultimately what we're doing here is hopefully making something that's going to, that's just going to be better. It's just going to work. That's just going to let the traffic flow that little bit better. So we'll do Let's see, what way do I want to do this? I kind of want to go to about there, and then hopefully just over like this will work as well. So we'll go ahead and connect that, which is, I guess, okay. I guess it works. It seems like it's going a little bit out of the way for everything, but I just think it has to. I do. I just think it has to. And since Mullingar is kind of becoming the center of a lot of things, I think we also do this. I think we go through. We are going to lose a lot of buildings, but I think we need more lanes right through the middle of Mullingar as well. We'll go to about here, and we'll just get a few more lanes down this way so that people have options for which direction they want to go. In fact, let's do the regular large street right about there with some trees on it. And that should give us plenty of options for traffic going sort of to, from, and through Mullingar. So when it comes to this large train station that we have here, I'm thinking some large main buildings for the cargo side of things. So we'll go ahead and just sort of throw a bunch of these guys in here, and we will have to connect this all together in some way or another that makes sense. I am going to do some small buildings at the sides just because I kind of like them. And then across the front of this guy, I think we do another large road just because I think it makes the most sense. So we want to go about there is not going to do it. About there is absolutely going to do it. So let's do a little something like that. That looks relatively level, which I'm okay with. We'll bring this out a little bit further on this side. We can bring it out a little bit further on this side. And what I'm going to do is put a couple of little bits of road just in here. So it looks like these are sort of connecting to those lower parts of the building. But what I can also do is use these as the intersections for my truck depots that we're absolutely going to need in here. So we'll build ourselves some 35-meter sections of road there and right about here as well. And then at the end of those, we'll do 2 platforms on either side. We'll do 30-meter platforms and place 2 of these guys. And that is going to be how we're dealing with cargo in here. Although I need to connect this to everything first, which is going to be slightly tricky. I'm kind of thinking this connects up to here. I think that would make the most sense to connect this guy up to here. So let's do that as quickly as we can. We'll do I want to go there with this? I think that kind of works. I think that's kind of okay. It is on a bit of a bend in the road, but that should be fine. We can bring this a little closer and then just curve it off to the right like so. And that is essentially how traffic's going to get in there. And I'm all right with that. What are the complaints right now? The station types don't match. Bus stop and train station. Interesting. What did I do? Have I somehow got bricks, tools, bricks. Yeah, these are all road cargo lines that have been assigned to the train station. That's okay. We can fix that. But first, let me just extend this little bit of road straight through. Let me bring all of this out of here and rebuild that to be a little bit more even. And that looks fine. I think I'm okay with that. Obviously, we have a lot of work to do in here, but for the most part, I'm kind of okay with this. Although I would like to bring all of this hill back a little bit further. And then I think I'm going to just raise up a new hill in here and we'll smooth it out so that we're kind of, you know, all the dirt that we're pulling out of the ground for all of this, this new work has to go somewhere. So we'll sort of build some hills, just above Mullingar, some brand new hills in here to make things look kind of interesting, I suppose. And yeah, it needs a little bit of smoothing there, but we can absolutely make that happen. So one of the last things we need to do before we get this up and running is go in here and essentially reassign all of the train lines that are all sorts of messed up. So train cargo Belfast bricks to Limerick and Galway has wound up on this station over here somehow. So if we go in and manage that line, we want to remove it from Mullingar where it is just unloading bricks. After Belfast, we want it to come in here. And that is totally fine. It is just going to be unloading bricks. And then that same line should now run basically back on the bypass, which I'm completely fine with. That's sort of the idea here. So that's one line sorted out. Train cargo fuel to Mullingar and Limerick is sort of the same story. So we're going to be saying that after Belfast, you go here. And I want to kind of allow it to go to either platform because in theory, it should be fine to do that. Assuming that it's behaving the way I need it to. And it's just going to be unloading stuff down here as well. In fact, I might go so far as saying that the other line, oh wow, there's a lot of stuff going on here. The bricks line can arguably do the same thing. Go to either platform, whichever one's available. Same thing in Limerick. Let's have you do that. And then the train cargo planks to tools to city line is I don't remember. I don't remember. I think it was stopping on the way back here because it was dropping off tools in, oh no, it's dropping off bricks. Why is it dropping off bricks? Hold on a minute. Am I modifying the right line? I am not. So Belfast, Limerick, Mullingar, it was dropping off tools. So after Limerick, we want you to go here, and I need you to go to platform number 2, and I need you to be yellow for a second so I can see that you're going in the right direction, which you are absolutely not doing. I'm not sure what's going on with you right now. That is very interesting. Have I got you set up to go to either platform? I do. That's what's going on there. Okay. So in that case, you are going to be unloading tools, if I'm not mistaken. You absolutely are. And that should be fine. Again, the trains can kind of manage whatever way they want to go for all of this. And if I'm not mistaken, it goes down via the bypass, which is completely fine. So we'll paint you red again, which is good. And if we go and have a look this way, we have nothing at this station. We have 2 guys at this station. We have a bunch of road cargo in here. So what I'd like to do is say that road cargo to Castlebar is not going to be using Mullingar transfer. It is going to be using Mullingar, and we'll get rid of the transfer. And this is moving specifically bricks to Castlebar. So we're going to say load up on bricks, and away you go. And there we go. The Mullingar Exchange has lines going to Dublin and Mullingar itself. This one has Castlebar. The train station has everything it needs in terms of passengers and cargo. I just need to go around and assign a bunch of these roads to be player owned because I don't want new roads getting attached to what I'm doing here because it's ever so slightly going to mess up my my road layout. So this is going to prevent the game from building any new level crossings within that blue line that I have right there. And that's kind of the idea. I'm kind of tempted to say the same thing here, and down here. Again, just to make sure that the game kind of behaves itself a little bit. And I'm thinking here as well, we're going to try and avoid any new level crossings. I do want the game to be able to build new stuff though. So I'm going to say that right in the middle here, we will put a road. And if the game wants to build off of that, it can go ahead and do that. I'm not really super worried about it. I'm thinking kind of in here, we can sort of do the same thing. So I'll put a road that sort of cuts through that space. If the game wants to build off of that, it can go ahead and do that. I'm not really too worried about it. And other than that, I think we're okay. I don't think we need to go much further with roads and ownership and stuff like that. But I would like to go in here and do what I always do and get myself some buildings so that this looks a certain way. I do like my buildings. I think they make the place look that little bit better. And I want to do the same thing over here as well. I want all of my cargo buildings in all the different spaces that we can get them at either end. We are going to have to flatten some terrain here just to get rid of some crimes that we have. But there we go. We have all that done. I suppose the last thing to do is go in with some assets. So let's get a decent tree brush, a little bit less strength to it. And I'm just going to go even less strength than that. We're just going to sort of dot a whole bunch of trees around this again, just to really hide our crimes a little bit. And I suppose all that's left to do now is unpause the game and see what happens and see how everything goes, see how it handles all the changes that I've made. We have this guy on the planks to tools to city line who is now very much on the wrong section of track right there, which is, I guess, okay. I guess it's not the end of the world. It's going to head up and turn around and do its thing, but I'm hopeful that I'm hopeful this is going to improve things. I'm hopeful that this is going to give us just some better train infrastructure. So this guy cutting over is exactly what we're looking for. This guy stopping right there across. Oh no, across the intersection's not good, but hopefully that doesn't happen too often. That's a little bit of a problem. That's not exactly what we want, but you know what? It's okay. We have this guy coming through. We have this guy heading down. Let me make sure that you are set to stop here. You absolutely are. I guess you just don't want to right now, which I suppose is fine. But I like this. I love what we're seeing with all of this. We are going to be waiting a little bit for these vehicles to be up and running again, because basically everything is kind of thrown off a little bit. What are you moving? Fuel to city? Let me go and manage. Let me replace all of these with, I guess, the old tank truck that we have here, just so that they're actually able to move a little bit more fuel. We do have a bit of a tailback here, which I'm gonna be honest, I kind of expected, given that we have a level crossing right here with a relatively small intersection. But I think if we go in, we can turn off those traffic lights, and I'm kind of hoping that we're not going to need them. I'm going to turn off traffic lights in a few different spots as well, because again, I don't think there's enough traffic to really warrant them. We will probably need them here. That's probably a given. I'm going to say no to here. We'll keep them at that main intersection. I'm just turning off traffic lights, just kind of all over the place, really, in the hopes that it's going to just speed up traffic a little. And for the most part, I think it will. I think we'll be okay. I think we can make this work, and I'm very excited to see Mullingar sort of rebuild after this major upheaval that I've done here. But I think this is a definite improvement, even if we do still have vehicles waiting in traffic over here, which is a little bit frustrating. Would it be an idea to give these guys more lanes? I want to say it might not be a bad idea, because now if you want to turn to the right, you've got a lane. If you go to the left, you've got a lane. I just think that's probably a good idea. It's kind of a major connection, right? Now, I don't know about you, but I really like what we've got going on here. I like that we have some bricks starting to get loaded into the Mullingar Exchange, but I can't help but escape the fact that we haven't expanded the Mullingar loop, either of them, in quite a while. So I would like to do that. I'd like to go in and basically bulldoze all of the passenger stations that we have in Mullingar, even though they're relatively popular in a few spots, but I want to get rid of every single one of them. And we're just going to sort of rebuild the loops that we had in here, just to be a little bit bigger, to cover a little bit more of the town. So let me go into my line manager. Let me go to road passengers, Mullingar loop number 1. We're going to, oh, we have vehicles in the line. I forgot about that. Let me, I guess, look at the lines this way and see how we're doing. So we need to sort by name. Road passengers is all the way down this way. We have Mullingar loop number 1, manage vehicles. There's some old vehicles in this, so we are just going to, we're going to sell them. And then loop number 2, manage vehicles. We will sell those as well. We can then go in here and delete loop number 1 and delete loop number 2, which is totally fine. And then in terms of just rebuilding this, it's going to be similar. It's going to be a very, very similar kind of layout, but essentially we're going to have a stop here. We're going to have a stop roughly right here where we had one before, and we'll have a stop right up here, which again is where we had one before. This is then going to come around this corner to, I want to say, this spot. I want it to go into, they don't need to be that close together, admittedly. I might be overdoing it ever so slightly, but I want to just have pretty good coverage for that side of things. And then over here is going to be slightly trickier because I need to build a new road down here, but that's okay. We'll do a stop right there. We'll do a stop in here. We can do a stop before, actually, you know what? We'll do a stop on this main road because it can go out and then up to here where it's going to come down the middle, down to this stop and then right back to where it started. So that should be completely fine so long as we get a new section of road in here, which is going to be a little something. Can I make this happen? Can I get like a nice little S bend in here? I kind of have my doubts that this is going to work. I don't love that. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a huge fan of how that's turned out. So let's see if I can bring this out and around to about there. I think that looks okay. And then bring this out over to not quite like that. That's definitely not what I want. We'll bulldoze that little bit of road so I can just get this to work properly. I know I don't need to have it look perfect, but if I'm spending all this time on Mullingar, I might as well have it look as good as it can. And even that doesn't look great as far as I'm concerned. Does that work? I guess that works. I guess that's as good as it's going to be. We'll bring this down to here and yeah, you know what? It probably just makes more sense to do a straight section of road. That just makes more sense. It's fine. we'll just do that. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Let's give this a few more lanes just so we have a little something to work with there. That's gonna be good for us. I think just giving people more options in terms of where they're going is for the best right about there. Do I want more lanes right up through the middle of Mullingar? I don't think we need a 6-lane road the entire way up through the middle of this town, but it would definitely be an option. Anyway, new line. We're going to start here. We are going to go up to here and then up to here. We're then going to the left and bringing this all the way down here, all the way down to here, and then it loops back to where it starts. And for some reason, that's not what I'm looking for. Can I put you on platform 2? Does that fix it? That actually does. I don't know. Oh, wait, no, I do know why you would go that way. I'm thinking here at New Street, we might need you on platform 2 as well. Oh, no. Oh, it doesn't want to behave. It doesn't want to turn the way I would want it to. That's really disappointing. Okay. Interesting. That's very interesting. Okay. I'll tell you what we do. We get rid of New Road and we get rid of both of those stops. We get rid of this one, and we move them down here in the hopes that that is going to let my traffic sort of do what I need it to do. So if we go back to this line, after number 1, it needs to go into here, which it's already doing. It goes to there. It's looping around in kind of a weird way, but it is at least going to where I'd want it to go. So I can't complain too much about it. So that's going to be road passengers. It is Mullingar, and we'll say it's loop number 1. And you know what? Let's just put it in the same brown color it was before, because that's the color that we've been using for Mullingar. So with both of those lines now in place, we just need some new vehicles. We'll go in here. We'll get the, whatever this is, the sour, which we do need to put into a few other towns as well. But let's go for 4 of them. Let's paint them. I'm not going to paint them brown because that seems a little much. We'll go for this blue right here. We'll actually go ahead and just duplicate them, and I will put 1, 2, 3, 4 onto road passengers right down here at Mullingar loop number 1. The others can go on the second loop going the other way, which is right about there. So that's hopefully going to get people moving around here. It's going to give us more connections, which is completely fine. I did bulldoze this road right here. And I think what I might do actually is just set this road to be owned by me so that nothing else connects to it in that space, because I don't think that would be a very good idea. In fact, at this point, there's so many connections to this road. I think maybe going through and saying, hey, no more connections to this main road. I think that's maybe a good idea, so that we're kind of limiting. We're limiting development a little bit. They can build out. I don't want them connecting more stuff to the main road. It just seems a little bit silly, but hopefully that works. Hopefully we get people moving around here, and hopefully we see, I mean, this is popular at the very least. We have a lot of people wanting to go either way with the train station here, which we love to see. We have a lot of cargo sitting in here, which we also love to see. And I mean, the trains are still working. The trains are still running. There's a lot of them. There's an awful lot of them. This one, I mean, where are you trying to go? Just kind of chilling there, I guess. There's a lot of trains trying to go to a lot of places, but I mean, it's working, and also traffic isn't getting stuck at this level crossing anymore, which, as far as I'm concerned, means that this has been a success. So before we wrap things up for today, I think we should go through and replace a lot of the locomotives that we're using here in Ireland, because they are getting a little bit old, and I think it's maybe just right that we go ahead and do something about that. Now, we are using 25 wagons on each of these trains, which is a lot. 225 is the capacity per train. So if we go in here and just say we want to replace these guys, we're going to be doing steam. I think it's going to be the Class A4. Although the Flying Scotsman is cheaper, and what do the wagons cap out at? 50? Interesting. So if the wagons cap out at 50, I wouldn't really need anything other than an A35. Arguably, the BR 75.4 would be fine as well, but I think something with just a really nice amount of power, like the Flying Scotsman, would be a good shout. So we'll do the Scotsman. And then for cargo in these guys, we'll do some tank cars. We'll do 225 is the capacity on this. So if I keep just sending a bunch of these in here, it's 32,000 to replace the two of those. I'm going to do it because I think it's just going to sort of make sense to get a more powerful train on there, and that might speed things up a little bit. When it comes to this line right here, this is our Planks Tools City line. If we look at these vehicles, it's 10 and 10. So it's 10 flat cars, 10 box cars. Replacing those, I want to say kind of same story. I mean, I'm very tempted to just say that even the A4 is probably not a bad idea, but we'll stick with the Scotsman. We'll stay kind of a little behind the times with the stuff we're doing in Ireland, I guess. And this is moving primarily planks. So we'll do it in sort of a gold color. And then the cargo will be, I mean, this is planks. The other one was whatever. I think the cargo wagons, I'm going to keep them sort of a standard kind of color. So we'll go for like a sort of dark gray on these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of those. And then the box cars, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of those. 160 is the capacity. We'll go ahead and replace those. And I think that looks okay. I think that looks all right. It's a pretty cool looking train. A little bit more standard than what we've had before, but I'm sort of okay with that. It's still doing its thing, which is great. And then that brings us to this guy, which again is pretty much the same layout. So we'll manage these vehicles. We will replace these vehicles. We'll do the Scotsman. They're moving bricks primarily, so we'll do sort of a brick red Scotsman at the front of these guys. And we'll do the cargo in the opposite order. So we'll do the box cars first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of those. And this is what we end up with, which I think looks pretty solid. Very big fan of the red on the Scotsman. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. I didn't realize we had the A4 on the passenger lines, but you know what? That's completely fine. I like what we have going on here. I think it's a pretty good look. I would like to go around though. Just before, I know I said earlier we weren't going to meander. We're not meandering too much. I just want to make sure that Limerick has some decent passenger lines, which it does with those trams. I would like to look at my other road passenger lines and just see who is still using buses. So we'll pin this because we have the Belfast train shuttle, which is relatively popular. We're going to swap that out for the new bus that we have right there. The Birmingham Loop is going to be the same story. It's actually relatively popular, so we'll double the number of vehicles on it. We'll swap those out for the new bus as well. We have the Castle Bar Loop, which is not very popular. It's also very old. Almost 50-year-old vehicles in this line. That might explain why it's not very popular. We'll go ahead and upgrade those and see how it goes. And there we go. We have some new buses that I think look kind of fantastic. We have them in Belfast, we have them in Reading, in London, in Manchester, in Liverpool. Very excited about the new buses. I think they look great. We have another one coming down the street right here. I love that we're reaching this era of just these. I think they look really cool. They're very cool looking buses. Anyway, the Mullingar project is well and truly done. Traffic is moving, the trains are moving, everything is moving the way we would want it to be, which is absolutely fantastic news. So I suppose all that's left to say is that is going to do us for today. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. This has been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.